welcome to Talk Dogs with Us, where a tech and a trainer talk behavior.
Today we're talking about cooperative care.
Who cares about cooperative care?
Who cares?
About cooperative care?
Who cares? We cares.
Man, I really wish I had taken the time to polish up my transatlantic accent.
A cares, B
Well,
cares,
there's no better time than now.
C
Did you watch
cares.
the newest episode again?
I did.
Cooperative
It's like,
cares.
what, one round?
Yeah. Today's topic is cooperative care. We're going to talk about what it is, what can it be, what can be achieved, what it's not, and how to get started on your very own cooperative care journey.
A journey.
This episode is going to focus on resources for owners, could be important for groomers, vet staff, trainers, could be walkers and sitters might find this
Yeah.
helpful as well. Some tips in there for some folks and a bunch of different trades. The thinking about how to think about it journey. I almost said too much riffing, not enough clicking. As some of you might remember, in episode 2, Clinical Caring, our thinking about how to think about it references a hospital in a foreign country where you are injured or sick and you go in for medical attention and nobody speaks the same language as you. You have no idea what's happening to you throughout the care process. You are discharged and sent on your way and you have no information. I want to revisit that example and now think about it if you had a translator, even if that translator wasn't super fluent in your native language. If you had a translator that came up and could point to their arm and say blood, and then somebody was there with a needle, you would probably put together that a blood draw was about to happen. If they came back and they had some pills and some water, they could look at you and say medicine. Take 2 times, and then you would kind of have some information about what was happening to you. And then when you were being discharged, if they could say all better, you would know that you were on your way to recovery. Maybe after you took the medicine for the second time, you would be all better. Probably wasn't going to be something chronic or life-threatening at that point. Probably was just something they needed to check up on. Having those little bits of translation can make the difference between something that is so stressful that it's impossible to cope with and having a lifeline, having a little agency and autonomy and information, and having the ability to cope through a stressful medical procedure.
Well said, Jen.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, nailed it.
So, cooperative care, what is it?
What is it?
I think there's a lot of really broad definitions and not a lot that's kind of honed in. So
Yeah.
I have a definition. I think cooperative care is kind of a collection of techniques that focus on the agency and autonomy in a handling situation. This is usually going to be a kind of grooming or healthcare application.
Yeah.
I don't think it's limited to that because I think you could make a case for things like putting on a leash to a dog that has body handling issues or putting on a harness, right? Which is still related to their issues with body handling, but more in line with just getting them walked, right? Like they still have issues with body handling, but putting on a leash isn't exactly the same as a grooming task, but it still may take some steps because that dog might need that autonomy in that situation. So I wanted to kind of go into some of the tools and ways that listeners might be familiar with cooperative care.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really in depth, but for this podcast purposes, I feel like we're going to be sticking to the broader definitions and trying to suss it out. And we can always do another part.
Yeah, always.
And I think like if
I'm
people
sure we
are,
will.
Yeah, and if people are interested in techniques, we could talk more about that. But for now, I think let's start with the really broad strokes. So I think there may be tools that are used in cooperative care that you may have heard of. The bucket game by Chirag Patel, chin resting, using a magic mat. Those are all kind of tools. I feel like those are the top 3. Are there any other ones that you've come across?
Not ones that have names.
Okay.
You know, when we work with dogs, we have like our own sort of regimen that we pull from.
Okay.
But I think that covers the main ones.
Okay.
Sometimes stationing on an elevated surface.
Yeah, I forgot that people do use like elevated, like grooming table stuff.
Yeah, grooming tables
Yeah,
are like
got it.
stacking
Stacking
blocks
yeah.
or whatever you call them.
Yeah, forgot about those.
What they
Those
stack on top of.
those three, those kind of things are what I was calling languages of consent in some early iterations of the cooperative care class I was teaching, right? Because they're all a different language that the language only has 2 words, right? When you learn the language, eventually you learn more words in that language. But like, for example, in a chin rest, my chin is down. That is a yes, I consent to what's about to happen. My chin is up. That's a no.
Yeah.
As you get more advanced and get more comfortable reading your dog, you could develop a maybe where my chin is hovering over my chin rest square, right? Or I'm hovering over the chin rest area. I'm not quite committed to put it down. I'm not ready yet. I need a minute, right? Which technically maybes are no's, right? If it's not a yes, it's a no. So
And that's on consent.
that is on consent. And that's, I still think it's information that isn't the hard yes or the hard no, right? So the idea with those languages, there's a binary kind of thinking about them. I'm engaged with the bucket, my chin is on the chin rest, or my body's on the magic mat. I am consenting to what's coming next, is kind of the general thought behind those three. There's also continuous counter conditioning. Some folks may remember early in the pandemic, and it's coming back around now in 2025.
Oh, your favorite video.
My favorite thing to talk about in class, there in the original, I'm going to say original video because I'm going to reference the original time that I'm aware of it going viral. This woman had wrapped her head in peanut butter. Well, she wrapped it in saran wrap first because that would be horrifying to just wrap your head in peanut butter. That's a different problem.
Oh, no. Yeah, no.
This woman wrapped her head in saran wrap and then put a big swatch of peanut butter on her forehead and let her dog lick the peanut butter while she clipped the dog's nails. And I think A for idea. It's a smart idea,
That's
but it's
a D for idea. The idea gives you 1 point.
yeah.
The safety takes
the
everything else
safety.
away.
If you nick that quick and they're licking that close to your eye, that's a chomp.
Could be.
That's a chomp. And
I don't care if your dog's never bitten you a day in its
Yeah.
life.
Even just a yikes out of a dog, that
One
Take care of
zig,
your eyes.
and then a zag, and then there's a tooth just in your eyeball.
yeah, take care of your eyes,
Or
folks.
up your nose. Or
The-
through your lip.
Oh God. The idea is making a resurgence. I seem to see it now with cats, which like a smaller mouth but still sharp.
More bacterious mouth.
More bacterious. I don't know if bacterious is a word, but it's pretty good.
Don't put their teeth near your eye, please.
Yeah, pleasant.
Would it be safer to just put it on a substrate somewhere else from your body?
Yeah, a lick mat, or if you have a partner, a housemate, a friend that could help you hold a spoon or a plate. That way they can move the animal's head and body around while you clip the nail. I think that that's a brilliant idea in terms of like letting them eat through a difficult procedure, right? Like
Yeah,
letting
it's
them.
good. It's a good management practice.
It's a good management practice. But don't put it near your eye. Don't put it near your head.
Another safety tip from Talk Dogs with Us.
Another safety tip, yeah.
Don't put it near your head.
And then there's protected contact. So protected contact is you do everything behind a barrier of some kind, usually a permeable barrier in some way. So maybe a fence that you can reach through. My favorite example of this is the Toledo Zoo posted a video about their cassowaries.
Yeah.
Cassowaries they're frugivores, which is now my favorite word. So they eat fruit. So they're not interested in eating you. However, their toesies are deadly.
They'll do you a slice.
They will do you a slice and possibly a dice.
Definitely.
And so they were practicing protected contact so that the cassowaries could not kick. So they made this beautiful V-shaped fence, and they taught the cassowaries to come into the deepest part of the V. What is happening between the two of you?
Nothing.
You sure?
The listeners at home need...
Elmo is doing a hard chin rest, staring into Alex's eyes.
It's all right. We got audio of it. Look. How do you feel?
He's hoping for a treat. So yeah, if they can do it with cassowaries, with birds, giant birds,
Basically dinosaurs.
Essentially dinosaurs. So they taught these dinosaurs to stand in this V-shaped thing and accept a poke from they tried a fake needle at first, obviously. They accept
a blunt
poke
tip is what they call it.
Yeah, a blunt tip. It's not like you don't just imagine the needle. It's not fake in that way.
I was thinking, in case anyone else was wanting to practice with a fake needle, it's called a blunt tip.
It's called a blunt tip.
Yeah, you can buy them
On Amazon.
wherever.
We hate
Yeah.
Amazon though, so
Yeah.
probably choose somewhere else.
Yeah, you can purchase them. They are purchasable. But they taught this dinosaur to accept a fake poke, like a pretend poke, in exchange for a grape. I just think that's like such a funny reward because according to the video, the grapes are like their favorite thing.
I would never expect a bird of that size to like its
To be like, hell yeah, it's grape time.
Right.
Something about them.
Great grapes. Yeah, they love them. So they basically gave them their shots, I think, for this year. I think the video was from 2025, and they gave them their shots all voluntary, right? So the cassowaries could choose to walk out of the V and go back into the enclosure. They didn't have to engage.
Can we link below to that?
We can link that in the
Yeah.
show notes. We can
Great.
find
We don't
that.
know what kind of vaccines cassowaries get. That's not what we're here for, but
Just that.
that's how they got them.
Yeah, they got them.
And if they can do that with cassowaries,
What can you do with your dog?
we can do that with a pit bull.
So when talking about what cooperative care is, I think we do need to talk about what it's not. right?
Absolutely.
And we did already mention space, so that's off the list. We
Yeah.
check that one off.
Going to space, skydiving, emergency care, most of hospitalization.
I do like that we started out fantastical and then really landed on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to be in left field here.
No, we came right back into center field like we were supposed to. You're supposed to be in center field, right? That's where the baseball happens.
Who could know?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm into kickball more.
I do like that I looked around the room and everyone was like, beats me.
The only times during hospitalization that I feel like cooperative care are helpful are the times, number one, the dog has to already have an established cooperative care routine. And if the dog doesn't have an established relationship with the person, then is it still cooperative care? I mean, I think that
Yeah.
there's skills that they've learned, right? Like what the dog learns from cooperative care is that they can opt out. And I've seen that it has created more distance between a no and a bite.
Yeah.
So, like, in that way, I think it's helpful, but I don't think that you're going to be, like, hooking a dog up to fluids because it did a chin rest. It's got to be hooked up to the fluids regardless. So,
Yeah.
in that
That's what I was
time,
gonna say.
we don't give them an option.
If it's emergency, I mean, I don't think you're going to have to do some stuff because it's an emergency.
Right. Yeah. Anytime there's an emergency, we always got to stabilize first.
Yeah, and then I think there's things that like we talked about this before, like that vet med can do, right? So like when hooking a dog up to fluids, could you let that dog eat while it's being hooked up to fluids? Could you
Right.
not? You obviously can't make fluids cooperative because sorry, kiddo, you need fluids, but could you make fluids less invasive?
Right.
And I think that's where cooperative care kind of pulls away from in-hospital care. Like,
Yeah.
the things that are not voluntary, right? So like fluids was a good example, but right now I have to give Elmo ear meds, and I try to get him to opt in. If he won't opt in when he sees the medication, then I give him a little break, but I come back and he eats the whole time. So his no can't be respected because
Right.
he has a yeast population in his ear, and that needs to not get worse.
Right. That was gravely affecting his life.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want him to lose his hearing, right? So I got to make sure his ear canals aren't full of yeasty beasties.
Right.
He's a sleepsies, I think,
He
right?
he actually is. He's just waiting for the next click. He's waiting for us to make our next.
Sleepy yeasty beast.
Yeah, he is a sleepy yeasty beastie. So, there are ways where, and this is fresh on my mind because Elmo just had an urgent care visit. There are ways that we did use cooperative care in that urgent care visit because it wasn't emergent. Like, yes, he needed to be seen quicker than normal, but it wasn't an emergency. So he had to be sedated for that. And could he have stood for a IV sedation? Potentially. We could have got him there. Would he bite anybody? No. Would he hate it? Absolutely. I don't want this dog to hate vet care, to resent vet care, to be absolutely a monster about even walking in the building. I want to make sure that every step in the way is as easy on him as it can be, because vet care is stressful. It just is. Going to the doctor, going to the hospital is stressful. It's not easy.
Right. Anyone with chronic health conditions knows.
Right.
Right. Everyone says like, "Oh, he loves going to the vet because he gets to see everyone." No, that's not. You have to work towards that.
Yeah.
No, your dog is anxious. That's what you're seeing.
Right. And they're doing the like, oh my God, if I would have known that you guys were here, I would have brought cookies. Like, that's anxiety. Like,
Yeah.
So for him, and this is kind of the like, how can you get started? I want to just talk to you guys about one simple thing that you can do is prepare them for touch. By naming their body parts. So
Prepare them for being touched, to be clear.
yeah, prepare them for being touched. So because Elmo has a pre-existing allergy issue, he gets the allergy shots in his lymph nodes monthly. And we noticed the first time we did the shot that he didn't react to the needle actually going into his lymph node. He reacted to the touch of the doctor putting her hand on his butt and moving it down. And so since our month in between, we had a month to prepare where I would say hip, I would touch him, I would feed him. Hip, touch, feed. Hip, touch, feed. I would say hip, Steve would touch him from out of his view, and then I would feed. So that hip just meant a hand is going to come out of the ether and touch you on the behind, but you're going to eat for it. And so the next month when the doctor came to do the shot, I said, just tell me when you're ready. I'll say hip, you touch, and then you go. He did not shudder that time. The first time he shuddered. When he got sedated on Tuesday for his procedure, I asked if we could do that protocol again. The tech was amenable. I said hip, she touched and injected him with IM sedation, and he did not flinch. And that is because we've done so much work on just hip that I was so impressed with him. I thought he did such a good job.
Yeah. So we will frequently teach patients the word exam as you're going to be touched, but then we will also have owners teach them their body parts and name their body parts as they're teaching it. And I think that's one of the areas where you can go as deep as you want, or you can stay surface level and just have a word for you're going to be touched. Or you can have a word for, we're going to touch you in this spot. And that'll depend, obviously, on the dog and, like, how intense their needs are and on how much work needs to be put in and can be put in and whatnot. But
yeah,
it doesn't have to be that you're diving in 100% head first. You can just dip your toes in a little.
Absolutely.
Get used to it.
And in puppy class, we teach them to do ear. So say ear, touch near the ear, feed. We teach them teeth. So I have the owners kind of turn their hand into an upside down U, and it's really hard to describe in an audio medium, and then lure their dogs into the U, say teeth, dog comes through the U, and you kind of just put your light finger pressure on their muzzle.
On the sides of their muzzle.
On the sides of their muzzle, so that you can prepare for lifting up their teeth to help you with things like toothbrushing, or if you can do that step in the exam room for the vet. So if the vet says, hey, it's time to look at teeth, and you have a teeth cue and you hold their mouth up, that's one less touch that a stranger has to do on your animal if that's what they're worried about, and that you can get that covered, right? Obviously, the vet still might need to get in there. They might need to look at something, but if that's your starter, then you could say teeth and the vet could lift their lips up, right? It depending on where you're at and what your needs are. So I think if you're looking to get started in cooperative care, I would try things like naming body parts, or even something as simple as teaching your dog a scratch board or scratch cone. That's another thing we teach in puppy class, because nails are awful. I don't think, the more I think about it, the more I think like if like the soft part of your nail that's under the top of your finger grew around your finger in a circle, and that's how it grew out of your hand, I just think cutting that is an unlikable thing.
Yeah, because their nails are tubular.
Yeah.
And the inside middle of the tube is the quick. And so when you're cutting, you're squeezing.
Yeah, you're putting pressure all the way around the quick, right?
Especially if your nail trimmers aren't sharp. And honestly, whose nail trimmers are sharp?
Yeah.
Like, no one's. They don't come sharp.
Yeah, they really don't.
Yeah.
And so teaching a scratch board, and there's a bunch of commercial stuff out there, and I know that we have our own opinions in like our work group, that we like a rounded M-shaped wavy circular cone, all of those kind of shapes, because there's just better access to the dew claws that way. Like not everybody's dew claws get it, and the straight boards, I really don't see much. I don't see much grinding down of the dew claws with a straight board.
Yeah.
But I think the straight board is a great place to start and a great place to do back nails.
And also, if that's all you have, I can use it, you know?
Yeah, start there. Then you don't have to do all the toes. You just got to do 2 little dew claws when you go around and do trims, and that's so much easier. Also, it's a brain game.
Yep.
Right? It's a brain game.
It's a movement game.
Yep. You get them up, moving, thinking, and that's part of your enrichment for the day. And then they're doing their nails too.
Would you say that over time, do you see the ability to train new cooperative care techniques get easier?
Yes. I also
Absolutely.
see, I mentioned the teeth thing. Yeah. So I have a story about that where we earned trust through other cooperative care. So this dog came to see me and Hannah, and we had worked on sometimes Hannah. We had worked on all these other parts of the exam. We worked so hard with him on vaccines, on blood draw. Like, we had done all these other parts. It came to game day, and the doctor said, okay, let's look in his mouth. And I went, oh no, we forgot. And because he had struggled with the other things, the tooth looking at was just not on the radar. And so I looked at him and I said, okay, buddy, let's go. And I put my hand in the position, and we had practiced maybe one time with him just putting his nose in between my thumb and all of my fingers. And I said, all right, bro, we got to do this. And so he came through. As he came through my hand, I sort of like lightly just grabbed his lip on the way through. So he actually pulled his own lip up by the way I was holding it. We looked a little bit like the Strength Tarot card with the lady holding the lion's mouth open.
Yeah.
And I had a lamb burger at the end of the rainbow for him, just held there. And the doctor looked at both sides and she said, that's good, thanks. And I fed him the whole lamb burger and I said, good day, sir.
A good boy.
It was, but I don't think I could have gotten anywhere near those teeth if I hadn't proved to him, hey, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing before I do it. And then if you say no, I'm going to say, okay, you got it. And I think that we earned teeth because everything else I'd done to him had been non-threatening. And he said, okay, I'll try something weird with you. And it paid off big time.
Right.
So if you want to learn more, the two best resources I think I've found. And I would love if people had more resources to share. For owners, for grooming, I think Deb Jones does a fabulous job for the kind of like basic, I'm just getting into this kind of stuff. She has books, she has courses, she has a Facebook group, she has all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of resources to get you started. For the vet med crew and for people who might have more severe issues, you're going to look towards Monique Fairchild from Teaching Animals. She's got a textbook, 2 textbooks, I think, because does it count as 2 textbooks if they re-released it, if there's a second volume? Let's say 2 textbooks.
2 textbooks.
I'm not going to take a textbook away from her.
No, hell no.
She's a VTS in behavior. A VTS is a veterinary technician specialty in behavior. There's maybe 30 or 40 of them, question mark?
Maybe 50, if that.
Yeah.
50 is the max, I think there would be.
Yeah. There's fewer than 100 for sure.
Definitely.
So yeah, very learned lady there. So those are your 2 kind of starter resources to go to. I think they're both worth checking out. I think everybody's got some value there, and hopefully they can be of help to you. And maybe someday we'll have an online course and you can come learn cooperative care from us.
We will have an online course someday.
Yeah.
We definitely will.
That's true.
Do you think it'll happen before or after my Great Dogs of History spinoff?
I'm thinking Great Dogs of History might... we might record that next. I don't know.
Oh, God. Was that all the tips?
That was the tips.
That was all the tips that fits to Prince.
All right.
So the answer to who cares about cooperative care is hopefully now you.
We cares.
We cares. Elmo cares.
You cares. They cares.
I cares.
We all cares.
Wow, we all cares about cooperative cares.
Do we cares enough to do a second episode of this?
I think we cares enough to do that.
All right.
We cares a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah. Talk Dogs With Us is an informational podcast and not a substitute for qualified medical advice.
Are you a pet professional or parent looking to learn more and challenge your current assumption about our pets? Then let's go on this journey together at our website, talkdogswithus.com. Give us a bark at Facebook and Instagram at Talk Dogs With Us. You can help keep the conversation going by subscribing to our Patreon, patreon.com/talkdogswithus, or buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/talkdogswithus. Art direction by Alex Warren, theme song and audio engineering by Stephen Rossbach. Check out more from him at stephenrossbach.com.